What is up, guys? Welcome to the epic two-part finale of my Absolute Batman comic book collection showcase. In this last part, we're going to go through all the exclusives from the grails, the signed copies, the exclusives that dropped that sold out in absolute seconds. You're going to see some of the most sought-after books, grails, key comics, and everything from the Absolute Batman run in this two-part series. I picked them up all for retail, like I said, and we're going to go through how much they're going for now, how much they were when they dropped, key significance, print counts, all the details and everything. So sit back, enjoy some of the best Absolute Batman books in my collection. We're going to get right into the thick of things. We're going to go in order of the exclusives when they came out. We'll talk a little bit how I got it. Like I said in the beginning of the video in the intro, everything you see here, I picked up when it dropped for retail at a booth, off a website, whatnot drop, whatever it may be. I haven't bought any of these on eBay, and I haven't sold any of my Absolute Batman stuff on eBay, especially my exclusives. So we're gonna start it off with Absolute Evil. This is issue number 1. This came out in October 2025. Multiple first appearances. This book and All In Special were the ones I was screaming at the rooftops for months for people to pick up. This is the introduction of Joker in full. He's appearing in multiple panels. Introduction of Absolute Green Arrow. Introduction of Absolute Hawkman. Introduction of Lex Luthor in the Absolute Universe. And introduction of the Absolute Justice League. Ra's al Ghul, Veronica Cale, Eleanor Thorner, Hector Hammond, Joker, Lee, Luthor. They're all on a panel together in the jail cell. So this is actually the David Nakayama. This is the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive from... No, I lied. This was the New York Comic-Con exclusive. So I'm getting my cons mixed up already. There's so many exclusives. Mind me if I bounce around a little bit. Like I said, there's a lot to go through. This is actually a gatefold. So I have it in the clear backer board. Gatefold, he actually released all these covers in single issues, so if you missed out on this exclusive, you could grab this one. I picked this up right at the booth for retail price. I think it was 20 bucks when it came out. On the high end on eBay, it's going for about 100 bucks now. So this is one I'm happy to have. I have all these in top loaders. I'm just going to remove them as they go for the glares. So let's move on to the next one. Here is the monster, the one to have, the one to chase if you're an absolute Batman, Superman, or Wonder Woman fan. This is the DC All-In Special issue number 1. This is actually the 1 in 25 John Jang cover. It is double signed by Scott Snyder and John Jang. Picked this up from my LCS for $15 when it came out, ratio price. Cover A is going for $150. This raw is going for $450. I've seen some double signed 9.8 sell for about $1,000, upwards of $2,000. So this is one of the big grails with all my Absolute stuff. Love this cover. I definitely need to get it graded. It is the introduction of Absolute Superman, introduction of Absolute Batman, introduction of Absolute Wonder Woman, introduction of the Absolute Universe, debut of the Justice League Satellite, and then death of Calabuck. So it's got some multiple things going on. It is a flip book. So if you pulled these, they're $5 cover price. And like I said, now the cover A's are going for $150. This is not the main cover Akira Absolute Batman issue number 1. It's the foil reprint, and there's a good reason for that. I am only missing literally like the first Felix design variant, a couple like the Akira exclusives, whatever was involved that first New York Comic-Con. I even had the ash cans signed by Scott Snyder, and I ended up letting them go. That was my first year of doing Whatnot. I was only doing it for a couple months with my job. It was my first time ever at New York Comic-Con. I was there by myself. It was absolute madness. I didn't even have time to think, let alone try and get some of these exclusives or some of these drops. And that's one of the biggest regrets when it comes to Absolute Batman, because I was ahead of the game. I've talked about it before. I knew about Absolute Batman on my pull list for about 3 to 4 months. I was all in when DC was doing their all-in stuff, but just I didn't even have time to think about it when I was at that first New York Comic-Con. So those are the couple of exclusives that are missing from my collection. The original Akira, that Jim Lee 1:100 ratio, the ash can, the foil ash can, and then like that Felix #1. So there's only like literally just a handful of the big crazy books that everybody wants, everybody has tried to get for Absolute Batman, that I don't have. So I am fortunate to have been able to get what I have. More than happy for the collection I've been able to have, like I said, for retail. So this is just the foil Akira homage, you already know. Never was able to get the first one, but this is Absolute Batman issue #1. Premiere issue, introduction of Alfred Pennyworth, Black Mask, introduction of Waylon Jones, Martha Wayne, Selena Kyle, Matches Malone. So many first appearances. Joker first cameo, Professor Pig cameo, Julia Pennyworth cameo, first team appearance of the Party Animals. The list goes on for this book. It's actually not too crazy, so if you need this for your collection, it's only going for about 60 bucks. I'm using Key Collector for all of my price listings, so it could fluctuate a little bit higher or a little bit lower, but 60 bucks online. I think I paid, what was it, like 30, 40 bucks at the booth, so not crazy, but beyond happy to have this one. These two are a little bit of an honorable mention. I'll have some honorable mentions as we go, but this is actually issue #1, and pricing for this kind of stuff is just almost impossible to find. These are the German variants. This is actually a sealed blind bag still. You could get 1 out of 50 different covers. They were all individually numbered, 1 out of 50 on the back. I have this one. They are thick. They're the Italian editions. I'll actually take it out and show you if I can be careful. So here's the back. This is what came in the blind bag. It was one of basically all of the like open order covers and variants and exclusives for Absolute Batman. But if you look at the inside, they're individually numbered at 136 out of 150. It's all still the same story, but completely in Italian. So I have one open and I have one sealed. The reason I don't talk about value when it comes to foreign stuff, because you could maybe find this for like 50 bucks on eBay, but you're paying upwards over $100 just to get things shipped in with taxes and tariffs and all that kind of stuff. So values are all over the place, but if you're looking for some of the super hard to find issue #1s, it even has the Scotty Young like ghost variant, that the black and white that was impossible to get, pulled off the shelves, not even available to order. I'm pretty sure that's in here. So like I said, German variants for issue #1 had to include this because this sealed forever, and then I was happy to get the Pannosia Virgin cover. Before we move on from issue #1, I included this on my Heroes Con haul video, but if you missed out on this, this is my pride and joy out of my Absolute Batman collection. This book took me about 2.5, almost 3 years to complete. I bought this off John Boy Myers' booth. I think it was like Cincinnati Comic Expo, like 2.5, almost 3 years ago when this first came out. Limited to 1,000. Ignore the little Velcros because I just popped this right off my wall. That's how I hang all my stuff. I just put little Velcro stuff, saves my paint. So I'll give you a room tour and tell you guys how I do that. But these are limited to 1,000. John Boy Myers. I bought this off of his booth. Got it signed that day. Kept it on my person for another like year and a half. Went to Heroes Con the following year. Got it signed by Dragotta. Remarked by Dragotta. Held on to it for like another year and a half. And then I have a video where I met Scott Snyder. Got it signed by Snyder. And then held on to it for another couple months. At Heroes Con this year, got it graded on site. It is actually a 9.8. I don't mind the black label. It saves me time. I like the black labels. You know, it's just pick or choose if you want to have a witness or not. But doing it this way is way easier. No value on this because if you scan this little barcode, it shows you the census number and everything. This is actually 1 of 1. There's only one John Boy Myers 9.8 triple signed and remarked on the census. So there's no value, there's no sales data because I'm the only person currently in the world that has this. I know at some point somebody else will have this triple signed and remarked, but it might get a 9.9, it might get a 9.6. You never know. So as of now, I love owning this in my collection. So the John Boy Myers, and it is one of my favorite covers out of the run and beyond. Happy to have this one. Here are a few more honorable mentions, and after we get through a couple issues, I'll segment things up, and this is going to be a 2-part series there's a huge stack of exclusives to go through, and I want to make sure I take my time on each one because some of these are some of my favorites. So make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, commenting if you're new. I love to hear back from you guys. But this is Absolute Batman, the Arc M Special. This one came out in January of 2026, so right at the beginning of the year. This is going for high raw of about 12 bucks, so nothing crazy. This is the origin of Arc M, Arkham in the Absolute Universe, introduction of Deathstroke in full, photograph cameo in Absolute Batman 9, and then cameo appearance of the Man-Bat biome. So nice little cheaper key, so if you don't have this, you could easily pick it up. Mine is actually signed by Frank Thierry. I was happy to meet him. Loved this issue. I loved all the one-shots, the Daniel Warren Johnson, the Absolute Batman stuff, and the annuals we'll get into a little bit later. But the one-shots for the series have been crazy. I have all the covers for them, but I wanted to show off at least one of the exclusives I have. I have all the open order covers, but this is the Absolute Batman Arc M. This was the MegaCon exclusive, a Jock variant. I picked this up for 20 bucks right at the booth. It is going for high end of about 60 to 70 bucks. So again, another super cool Absolute Batman cover and exclusive that you can pick up for kind of cheap. And you'll see a theme. I don't buy all of the Absolute Batman covers, but when he's bigger, beefy, and with the spikes, those are some of my favorites. Totally forgot to include this in the other part when I was talking about issue number 1, and mind the glare. These things are dark, they're hard to see. It is the Mark Spears, issue number 1, 7th print Virgin foil. I had to include this because it's an issue 1. You know I love Mark Spears, and the connecting cover, I have them all with Absolute Superman and Wonder Woman. So good. Picked this up for, I think it was $7.99 when it came out, $6.99, whatever the DC foils are. Going for about 25 to 35 bucks. So again, nothing crazy. So if you want to pick up a first print, one of the variants, and something cooler, beefy with the spikes, always a good take. Here is another good one. Last of the honorable mentions, and this is Absolute Batman Annual 2025, issue number 1. You know it, you love it. It won an Eisner for best one-shot of the year. Controversial issue for some things inside and everything, but some of my favorite covers were on this issue. I love this one. This was actually the 3rd print in Virgin foil, and the silver and black, again, hard to see, makes this one peak and perfect for signatures. Signed and paint pen by Daniel Warren Johnson. I had plans to get this signed by Snyder, Spicer, James Herron, the whole team that was involved in this, so you can get this all signed up. I have the other Virgin foils, the flamethrower, the main cover, and everything like that, but I wanted to include this one because, you know, signed by the GOAT himself, Daniel Warren Johnson. Man, you put Mark Spears with a Virgin foil and make it a DC foil, they're dark. They're just hard to see, but in hand, one of my favorite covers, more thick boy, beefy Batman with the spikes. This is actually Absolute Batman 5. So notice I didn't really pick up any exclusives, took a little break. Once these start jumping up, you'll see I was just trying to pick up things. I'm very OCD and choosy when it comes to books. So I really like to spend my money with what I like. So I don't really just pick up a bunch of random covers. So this is the 3rd print, Virgin foil. I think this was, I don't know, New York Comic Con, one of the cons. I don't know where I picked it up. It was a Sad Lemon exclusive, limited to just 800 copies. Again, another easy obtainable one, going for about 40 or 50 bucks on eBay. So if you want something cool, Virgin foil, Mark Spears, definitely obtainable. I think I paid like 20 or 30 bucks for it. So again, another one I'm happy to have, and this thing is just so clean. I know the original one that came out, I missed out on the first drop, so I was happy to get the reprint of the Virgin foil. I forgot to include in Absolute Batman issue number 5, the main cover is going for about $45. So it's interesting to see some of these main covers being more expensive, or if not just as expensive as some of the limited exclusives, even though they're open order. So I just find that interesting, and it's something super cool. So here we have Absolute Batman issue number 11. This is the origin of Bane in the story, and then we also have a cameo of Scarecrow. We have the 1 in 25 going for $200, which is insane. The Clayman, I'm happy to own that one. Open order cover going for about 50 bucks. And then this was another Fan Expo exclusive, the foil, going for only about 30 or 40 bucks, even though it's limited to 1,000. So those open order covers, I don't even know the print count on some of the early issues with the open order covers, but it's in the thousands and thousands. They printed those things to heck. But again, another super, super cool cover. I forget the cover artist on this one, but I love the foiling. I think we're going to wrap it up with issue number 13 because there's another big chunk of books to go through, and I don't want to keep you guys too long, but we are definitely going to end it off with a bang and one of the more ghost books and hard to find ones with issue number 13. This was the eBay exclusive. I think this was only maybe 500 copies. It was a big clutch thing, so I'm happy to have it. And the reason I am happy to have it is because it was a super damaged copy. I work for Rups Comics, so we had a little stock of these. So damaged copy, can't sell it to the public, so I can never sell it. Just happy to have it in the collection because Key Collector has this going for about 15 bucks, and I don't think anybody's updated because this is going on the low end of about 300 to about 450 raw sales. So super, super hard to find. That Gilliam March is the introduction of Harley Quinn in full, and then you get Catwoman in costume. So this is where we're going to end it. So let me know if you guys have any of these exclusives. Are you chasing any of them down? Have you bought any of these on eBay, on the aftermarket, or were you able to pick them up like me from your LCS, from a con, for retail price? But as you see, I am showing some of these prices aren't too crazy, so if you see something you like, check it out online. It could be a little bit fluctuating, but definitely happy hunting out there. Make sure you like and subscribe because we're just going to ramp it up. We haven't even got to the crazy Felix books. We're going to start the next one with issue number 15 with Joker, and that's where my exclusive addiction really started to ramp up. So make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. If you missed anything, I've went through my entire Absolute Batman collection that I've bought from my LCS on my pull list or from cons for retail. I haven't really sold anything. I'm keeping it all forever. I love living in the fandom right now. I enjoy talking to you guys. I enjoy sharing my thoughts and opinions with Absolute Batman. The good, the bad, the ugly, no matter what it is, it's a great time to be a comic book reader. So again, I hope you guys have a great day. Stay legendary, but the most important thing you guys always know, I hope you guys always find what you're looking for. Thank you.